Good morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching Janata Television and this is English Bulletin with me, Yutsa Bhatrai. The top stories first. Government decides not to issue vehicle passes from today. Odd even system for travel within district to remain in force. Death toll from coronavirus climbs to 91. Kathmandu Valley sees a surge in infection. Home Minister lashes at expansionist policy of neighbouring countries, accuses the neighbours of damaging border pillars. Researchers say last year was one of the warmest years on record. Only 2015 and 2016 were hotter than 2019. And PSG booked a place in semi-final of UEFA Champions League, beat Atlanta by 2-1. And now, the news in detail. With the increase in coronavirus cases, Home Ministry has decided to stop issuing vehicle passes effective from today. The Ministry of Home Affairs has instructed all 77 district administration offices not to issue vehicle passes until another arrangement is made. Coronavirus infection has been increasing in many areas of the country in recent days after the government lifted the lockdown few weeks ago. The Home Ministry confirmed that it has decided to discontinue vehicle passes for inter-district transportation due to the rise in number of infection. However, vehicles are allowed to operate within the districts under the odd-even number system. The death toll from coronavirus in Nepal has climbed to 91. The government yesterday confirmed 8 new deaths due to the disease. According to the spokesperson at the Health Ministry, Dr. Jageshwar Gautam, the victims were from Kathmandu, Dhading, Dhanusa, Saptari, Morang, Kapilvastu and Bara. Most of the recent victims were elderly people, while a 32-year-old man from Dhading and a 38-year-old woman from Dhanusa were also among them. The government also confirmed 484 new cases of coronavirus yesterday. With this, the total number of infection in the country has reached 24,432. Kathmandu Valley alone reported 125 new cases yesterday. Among them, 98 cases were from Kathmandu, 20 from Lalitpur and 7 from Bhaktapur. Meanwhile, 64 persons were discharged from hospital yesterday after recovery from the disease. The total number of patients recovering from coronavirus has reached 16,728. The active cases of coronavirus currently stands at 7,613 in the country. In other news, Minister for Home Affairs Ram Bahadur Thapa said yesterday that Nepal has been facing with border disputes due to the expansionist policy of neighbouring countries. Addressing a meeting of State Affairs and Good Governance Committee of the Lower House, Minister Thapa alleged that Nepali territories have been encroached due to the hegemonic attitude and expansionist policy of Nepal's neighbours. Nepal's neighbours have displayed attitudes such as damaging the border pillars, uprooting them and throwing them away in Nepal's side, which is condemnable, said Minister Thapa.
पिलरहरु चाहिँ अब उखालेर फाल्दिने अथवा त्यसलाई अझ भित्र नेपाल भित्र ल्याएर चाहिँ त्यसलाई चाहिँ गाड्ने यस्ता अतिक्रमणकारी नीति पनि चाहिँ यी सीमा समस्याको पछाडी चाहिँ एउटा कारण देखिन्छ। त्यसकारणले अब यो कारणलाई पनि नहटाइकन हामीले सीमामा उत्पन्न हुने समस्याहरूलाई हामीले हल गर्न सक्दैनौं भन्ने लाग्छ।
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs should take the lead in resolving the border disputes via diplomatic medium, Minister Thapa added, stating that it falls under Home Ministry's jurisdiction to secure Nepal's land and border. Minister Thapa said the ministry will act accordingly.
नेपालको भूभागको सीमाको सुरक्षा गर्ने जिम्मा गृह मन्त्रालय भएको हुनाले गृह मन्त्रालयको तर्फबाट अहिले जो विद्यमान जो सीमा छ हाम्रो भूभागको चाहिँ सुरक्षा गर्नेमा गृह मन्त्रालयको तर्फबाट पनि आफ्नो पहल कदमीलाई अझ अगाडि बढाउनु पर्ने र हाम्रो सीमाहरूको सुरक्षामा विशेष ध्यान दिनुपर्ने आवश्यकता छ र त्यसको लागि पनि जो सुझाव आएका छन् ती सुझावलाई ध्यानमा राखेर एउटा सीमा सुरक्षा सम्बन्धी चाहिँ विशेष योजना र व्यवस्था चाहिँ गर्नुपर्ने देखिन्छ।
Most of the border disputes can be attributed to the practice of demarcating the national boundary based on a river and rivulets, Minister Thapa opined. Borders demarcated in such manner change when the river changes its course. Minister Thapa added that a strip map has revealed that Nepal's territory has fallen in India and India's territory in Nepal. Members of Parliament have blamed the government for not showing any signs of solving the border-related issues at the ground level after publishing the new map of Nepal. The MPs raised the matter during a discussion on border-related issues at Kanchanpur, where India has been encroaching Nepal's territory based on the strip map. The meeting of the State Affairs and Good Governance Committee of the Federal Parliament discussed the issues of border encroachment at the ground level and blamed the government for not being serious enough to resolve those issues. The MPs raised the question of encroached land in Kanchanpur and if it has been included in the new map of Nepal. They have also blamed the government of not being prepared to solve these border disputes. In the meeting, Land Management, Finance and Poverty Alleviation Minister Padma Aryal informed that the updated map of Nepal has included the disputed territory of Kanchanpur. The strip map can be suspended after agreement between the countries and said it also shows that some part of India has also been included in the territory of Nepal. In the meeting, the MPs also raised concerns about the comments of Health Minister Bhanubhakta Thakal about the critiques of the government. In the meantime, the Parliamentary Committee has directed the government to investigate on the issue of strip map. The meeting of the State Affairs and Good Governance Committee has directed the government to send a team of Nepali experts to places like Kanchanpur, which lie on the border areas, to ascertain the validity of the strip map and report back the facts. The committee has also directed the government to include all the border-related issues in the closed session with the Indian side and asked the government to form a diplomatic model based on truth to tackle the sensitive issue of border dispute. The committee has also directed the government to provide the land ownership document to the people living in these border areas, as the Land Management Department has already conducted the survey and mapping of the area. Similarly, the committee has also directed the government to initiate stronger checks at all checkpoints through which people have been entering into the Nepali territory to prevent COVID-19 infection. The committee has further directed the government to keep a track of everyone entering through these border checkpoints while making sure that everyone entering through these checkpoints get a PCR test for coronavirus. And now, the news from Economic Front. The price of gold went down drastically yesterday as it was traded for 95,400 rupees per 11 grams. This is the highest single-day drop in gold price since the market resumed after the nationwide lockdown was imposed on March 24. According to the Federation of Nepal Gold and Silver Dealers Association, the price of gold took a nosedive in the domestic market after the price of the precious yellow metal declined rapidly in the international market. The price of hallmark gold in the past 2 weeks had remained steady at 100,000 rupees. According to experts, the price of gold went down in the international market as Russia claimed to have discovered the vaccine for novel coronavirus, which in turn attracted the investors to other sectors. The price of gold is expected to decrease further in the coming weeks. And now the international news. Last year was one of the 3 warmest on a record. A research published in the Bulletin of the American Meteorological Society, BAMS, showed glaciers melting, sea levels rising and a spate of wildfires, heat waves and droughts last year. According to Reuters, the BAMS annual State of Climate report found that only 2015 and 2016 were hotter than 2019. The research was based on records dating to the mid to late 1800s and was prepared by 528 climate scientists from 61 countries. Each decade since 1980 has been successively warmer than the preceding one, with the most recent 2010-2019 being around 0.2 degrees Celsius warmer globally than the previous 2000-2009. For the 32nd consecutive year, 2019 saw the loss of mass-form mountain glaciers. White Lake temperatures were above the long-term average and permafrost temperatures continued to rise. Greenhouse gas emissions, which contribute to climate change and pollution, increased. Carbon dioxide emissions rose by 2.5 parts per million, nitrous oxide by 1 part per billion and methane by 9.2 parts per billion, the report said. Baton-wielding police patrolled barricaded and deserted streets in the southern Indian tech hub of Bengaluru on Wednesday, after 3 people were killed in overnight clashes. According to Reuters, the clashes were triggered by a Facebook post offensive to Muslims. The violence began late on Tuesday with mobs pelting stones, burning vehicles and setting a police station on fire. It lasted until the early hours of Wednesday. Dozens of people were wounded. Police said the person responsible for the offensive post, which has since been deleted, has been arrested. A spokesman for Facebook said it was investigating, adding its standards prohibit hate speech and incitement to violence. Bengaluru Police Commissioner Kamal Pant said his officers had initially tried to hold back around 1,000 protesters using batons and tear gas, but then opened fire. The 3 victims were Muslim men aged between 19 and 21, said Rizwan Arshad, a Congress party lawmaker in Bengaluru. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Paris Saint-Germain have qualified to the semi-final of the UEFA Champions League after defeating Atlanta by 2-1. PSG scored 2 late goals to book a place in the Champions League semi-final for the first time in 25 years. The Italian club led the tie through Maria Pazilik's goal in the 26th minute, but Brazilian forward Neymar laid on a 90th minute equalizer for Marquinhos, and substitute Kylian Mbappe lead up a former Stoke striker Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting to slide in the winner. Atlanta, who led for the most part of the game at the Estadio de Luís in Benfica, were dealt a crucial blow after conceding twice in 3 minutes to lose the tie. The new format of the UEFA Champions League means the tie is decided in a single game rather than through a 2-legged tie. PSG will now face either RB Leipzig or Atletico Madrid in the first semi-final next Tuesday. Barcelona say an unnamed squad member has tested positive for COVID-19. He was one of 9 reporting for pre-season training, showed no symptoms and has been home quarantined. Also on Wednesday, fellow La Liga side Athletic Bilbao said 6 players had tested positive as they returned for pre-season training. Valencia confirmed 2 cases of COVID-19 this week, while Atletico Madrid reported 2 positive tests before the Champions League quarter-final. Barcelona have, however, said the player has not been in contact with any senior players who travelled to Lisbon on Thursday to prepare for the Champions League quarter-final. Barcelona play Bayern Munich on Friday, the day after Atletico Madrid face RB Leipzig. Everyone who has been in contact with the Barcelona player has been tracked to perform tests. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin and the headlines once again. Government decides not to issue vehicle passes from today. Odd-even system for travel within district to remain in force. Death toll from coronavirus climbs to 91. Kathmandu Valley sees a surge in infection. Home Minister lashes at expansionist policy of neighbouring countries, accuses the neighbours of damaging border pillars. Researchers say last year was one of the warmest years on record. Only 2015 and 2016 were hotter than 2019. And PSG booked their place in semi-final of UEFA Champions League, beat Atlanta by 2-1. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website at janatasamachar.com. We urge all our viewers to take necessary precautions against coronavirus infection. Keep washing your hands, keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.